Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you very well, very well.
Okay, makes
Very
sense.
well.
Okay, yeah. Nice to meet
My own
you.
light is not so bright though,
Yeah, no,
so
no, no
I
problem.
hope
It's
you can
fine.
manage.
It's good. It's good. No, no
Okay,
problem. It's good. Yeah, sure.
okay.
So,
So
how you
thank
doing
you very
today?
much.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, give me a background of what you've been doing so far.
Okay. I'm a backend Java backend developer.
Okay.
So I became very serious with coding, and even last year around July, okay, June August. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm mentoring in Java, and I've worked with some people, like not in terms of like paying, but I've collaborated with people who built some projects in fintech and some other consuming some external APIs and all of that. And I also have some good understanding with some other technologies like Docker, Git, GitHub, and CI/CD, and basically how to deploy. The only thing that I've not really done so far is um, AWS and all those other major deployment side that I've not really had any experience on. But on the other aspect, I've done all of these things before. So my current challenge right now is finding opportunities. I do apply on a daily basis. I do, uh, but most times it always ends up with regret messages. So I just felt, although some of my colleagues have also had this experience, that in Nigeria, I look as if they are always looking for senior developers that have experience for Java and all of that. So it's always, but I still know that there are still some few spaces that someone can enter and start working. So that's why I said, let me just reach out. Maybe there's something I'm not doing well. Maybe is it my CV, or is it my the way I structured my approach to something I need to maybe I'm not doing many projects, personal projects. I need to still do better. So that's why I said, let me reach out to someone that has some experience in the industry and get to hear maybe advice or recommendation or anything at all.
Okay.
So that's a great
So give me a rundown of the kind of projects you've worked on with, like the past projects you've worked on. Let me have an idea.
I've worked on a project that has to do with like I said, a fintech project that has to do that with consumer a pay stack API. So the project basically it's able to you're able to have an account, and then you can pay some bills. You can pay NEPA bill, you can pay electricity, and some other is it GoTV and all those other bills. And then you can also recharge your account yourself. Like it can allow you to transfer money into your account, and then you can also send money by automating. It's basically like automating it. You just enter the person's account details, and then it brings out all the details of that particular individual. So it's should I say a very small project, but since we are some of us are just upcoming. So that is one of the projects I've done before, and then some other project I've done before has to do with like the recent one I did is a microservice project. Although it's
Microservice.
basically sometimes it has to do with you know
Microservice.
yes, microservice.
Okay.
Yeah. So although I'm not so strong on the microservice, but it's just like it code along something I did at academic courses and all those stuff. So, but I know some of the things that has to do how services communicate in microservice and all the things I need to add together to make it work. So
Okay.
all of
So
those
have you
things.
done the microservices real life?
No, I have not.
You have
I
not.
have not.
Okay, but you
Yeah.
understand the communication protocols, what is actually entailed
Mm,
to get things done,
yes.
communicating between channels using the Kafka, RabbitMQ, and all those stuff.
And yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
some practicals here. I've never heard someone do such a kind of thing except if they are actually if they're actually working in an organization, to be precise. But I think you kind of have a couple of experience, and from the way you actually present, like from the way you're actually telling me, I think you have a little bit like you are not precise about your presentation of what you've done so far. And like let's say for example, if someone asks you what have you done before, I noticed that within the last 10 to 20 seconds, you were kind of fidgeting on you use space stack to do this, that, and all those stuff. So you can just do say more like I built a bill payment platform before where one can be able to
Okay.
pay for pay their airtime, data, and all those
Mm-hmm.
respective services, anything that has to do with bills. That is
Yeah.
what. So if you notice the way I actually presented myself is absolutely different from the way you presented yourself, kind of. You get so I would actually say you should actually be more confident in your presentation when you're presenting
Okay.
yourself, because many HRs do not have time to listen to what you have to say. They just want you to be prompt about what you've done, and they don't want you to waste time.
Mm-hmm.
So if they now get to ask you, okay, how did it work? How were you able to achieve it? You can now start talking about the pay stack. You can start talking about the wallet system, if you guys use the wallet system, or whatever the case may
Mm-hmm.
be. If where you guys were connected to the providers. I've actually worked with a platform like that before. Currently, I think they're worth like more than $10 billion at the moment. So I was one of their early developers.
Mm-hmm.
So I used that experience, that opportunity that I had with them to learn almost everything that happens between the discos, that's for electricity, everything that happens with the telcos and all those stuff like that. So funny enough, I can build a replica of that system in less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
sure. So I understand the super vendorship. I understand the sub vendorship, when they sublet it to a super vendor, when the super vendor sublets it to the respective, and the percentages that they receive and all those stuff. So I know it back to back. You get it, right? So it's a very, very nice project for you to actually be engaged in. And from the point of how you've actually been able to present yourself, I know that you've actually worked on, you've done something. And even as much as saying you're working on microservices, I think you're awesomely smart on that. So it's a good one, and you don't need to fret. You just need the right company to pick you. That's what I can say. So let's move to another part. So how have you been applying is another thing.
Okay, I use majorly LinkedIn and then Indeed for my application. So I get alerts on a regular basis for jobs that matches my profile, and then when I check them, if I need to uh, refactor my CV so that I can capture the requirement of that particular job JD,
Yeah.
I do that. And then, in fact, before I got on this call, I had to just send 2 applications for Filter Wave and another company, and I had to do some little editing on my CV
Okay.
and all of that done. But the other part that is a challenge is that sometimes all of these jobs always require 2 years and above experience. 2 years. In fact,
How many years
in
of
fact, there was
experience
even
do you
one
have?
that well, as with regards to Java, it's not even not to just to be truthful. With regards to Java, like I've started learning Java. I started learning Java August last year or July, yes. So, but I've been around coding environment since 2021. Started, but just I was not very serious. But I had understanding with JavaScript
And when
and
did you build this
React
bill
and
payment platform?
last year. Okay, no, it was
It,
even this year, around January,
January.
early this year.
And the platform is
Yes.
live.
It's like we did not host it actually, like, but it's we can do I can do a demo on my own. I can open the project on my own this thing, and then
And it
but we
works
not deploy
well.
it actually. Yeah, it works. It works. All the APIs are connecting well.
Here's what I would advise you to do. Do a demo. Record your screen, right? Of the demo of that platform. And look for
Okay.
it and put it in your portfolio. Put the demo of that platform on your portfolio.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So let me give you an example. I tried to interview about 136 people, and I was interviewing them on WhatsApp. And I told them that they should send me their APK file, because it was a mobile application that I wanted to outsource someone, that anybody I'm going to be picking there to do. And I told them, please send me an APK file. And because of the fact I'm using an Android phone, they were sending me the APK file. I was downloading and testing until I got tired at a certain period, and my phone crashed because of the fact that I was just downloading APK files anyhow. Right. So because of that, I was now instructing them that they should send me a screen recording of what they have done in the past, and I'll make an inquiry about this activity that they say they've done in the past. So in the midst of everything, some of them were rude. They were like, I cannot take a screenshot, and that was totally an off for me if you can't do that. And some, because I don't see any reason why you've done something in the past and you're not proud of sharing what you've done in the past. With all idea of enthusiasm, you were supposed to even pass me or tell me what you've done in the past, or show it to me, let me see it. So maybe they will have come from an idea of unpreparedness, but at the same time too, you are the one looking for the job, so you have to do what it takes to get the job. You get. So something now dawned on me that at that particular time when I was trying to interview, I interviewed every single one of them. It took me about three days to get the person. And the funny part is the person I even got was the wrong person for the job. Yeah, that's to show you how bad it is. I even assumed that the guy even lied about the project he worked on, because at a certain period, I got reluctant when I got to the 70 something person. I got reluctant of making research to be sure if they've actually done that stuff in the past. So that was my own bad. That's my own problem. You get. So I'll bear the consequences for that, which I'm actually bearing at the moment. I ran into some losses. So it's important that you put yourself in a position of wanting to screen record this project you've worked on and put it on your portfolio. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Okay. Yes.
Every activity that you've worked on is important you put it in a portfolio. Even if they cannot test it, at least they can see it. And from what they are seeing, they will want to have a conversation with you. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yes.
So I think you need to go through that route, yeah.
Just to add something a little to what I said earlier, except for this particular project, it's not just my own personal project. It's a project I have to work with other people on.
I'm aware. I know. I know. Did you sign any agreements with the organization?
You said?
Did you sign any agreements with the organization or with the person?
Not really. It's not.
So, as long as you didn't sign any agreements with the person or with the individual, then it's not your business. It's something you've done. So let me ask you a simple question. If a company reaches out to you and tells you, I need to see that bill payment you've done, what are you going to do? Because of the fact that you did it for someone, you're not going to say...
Well, I can...
So, I'm listening to you. You said you can what?
Well, like you said, I need to... I should have also think in that line as well. Like,
okay. Sorry, do you mind? I'm actually taking a drink though.
It's okay.
Yeah. So so as long as you didn't sign any agreement with anybody or any organization as regarding the intellectual property of that system, you are free to do whatever you want with it. You are free to tell the whole world that you're the one that built it. Do you know there's nothing as sweet? One thing about tech that people do not understand is being part of something and building something are almost the same thing. They might not be completely the same, but they are almost the same thing. Why? Because you put yourself in a position to be part of something, means you contributed something to it.
Yes.
You get it? So you have every opportunity to boast about it. You have every opportunity to put yourself in a position to say, I did this. You get? Just imagine you're working with Facebook today, and you're amongst the early people that develop Facebook. Will you open your mouth and say, and when they are talking about Facebook, you want to boast about it?
Sure.
You want to say, I've worked with Facebook before, or I've done this one before. It gives you a little bit of credibility to an extent. Even if Facebook does not know you and they have 50,000 staffs in the organization, you worked with Facebook. And because of that small label, ex-Facebook, they want to respect you for that, even if it's 1 month you worked there. So you have to be proud of what you've done, and you have to showcase what you have done. If you're extremely scared, go and look for another, like partner with a front-end developer that will consume those screens again, and we'll build another interface and consume those screens that of those APIs that you built.
Okay.
So you don't need to
basically, for backend people like we that are majoring in backend at the backend, is it really? I don't know other ways. I know that there are certainly other ways that they can test what you have done at the backend without having to see it live. I know that although the products are more like the recruiter want to see it live and see how it works and everything, but because I have noticed like a pattern between backend people and front-end people,
right?
Except their full stack, in the sense that they don't always having a portfolio like most backend people, like I have observed personally. When I go to their CVs, I don't even see like a portfolio site, in the sense that they have to say, go and check my portfolio. And even for some jobs also as well, I have not really seen that aspect of asking for backend jobs that are actually requiring for backend engineers to say, okay, bring your portfolio site like this. So I want to just ask, based on the experience that you have, like, is it like something that is very, very necessary? Since they are aware that they are recruiting me or employing me as a backend engineer, and I don't really have experience at the front.
It's absolutely necessary for you to actually have a portfolio too. And for the fact that you're actually a backend guy and you're strictly working on the backend, I will also in a way, I also advise that in as much as you are trying to look for a job, you should build some projects that evolves around you wanting to consume your own APIs. Do you get? So that means you need to settle down to learn a little bit of front end. That will give you the opportunity to consume your own API so that you can be able to showcase it and present it to people. So there are ways you can build your portfolio. Now, for technical companies, especially people who have CTOs, head of engineering, team lead, and all those stuff, if they are the ones interviewing you, they will understand that the only way you can present your back-end work is by showing a documentation of Swagger, Swagger or Postman or Insomnia or whatever the case may be, and you have a documentation of it, that when they even test it, it works. Do you get where I'm coming from? They have that in mind. But for a HR, they will not have it in mind. Do you get where I'm coming from? So what you need to do now is, in as much as you have a Postman collection of your portfolio, you should also look for ways you can be able to maybe partner with someone to do a front-end development. And it's also like interconnected. That other person is also interconnected with you because he's trying to also plug into the idea that he too has done something too. So you should see it as a mutual benefit rather than just one trying to leech on the other person.
I just not continue, Shogo.
Yeah.
Just to bring something to your notice.
Yeah.
I actually developed because there was a job I was applying for at the time that I saw it was actually a following job, and they were like, they had a space for portfolio. So I said, okay, let me just try this portfolio thing and then add it. So I quickly looked for a copy of the portfolio and then I added it. I had to format it to shoot my own self and then add some project to it. Well, after some time, when I was applying, it's for that they were not really asking for the source because I had to remove it from my CV. So the portfolio, I think, is still, I deployed it, is it on not a local, but I don't know. I'm trying to remember the place, but I can still find the site to it and still even add it to my listing.
Can you share it with me? Let me see.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me just get it.
Sure, no problem. Where are you based at the moment?
I'm currently in PH, Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt, nice.
Yeah. Are you in Lagos or where are you?
Yes, I'm in Lagos, actually.
Okay. Like everyone just going to Lagos.
It was business that brought me here, actually.
Or you've decided to just be there now?
Yeah, at least for now, yes. For now.
Okay. Since you are a senior engineer, it's most senior engineers, they have this opportunity or privilege to work from anywhere.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, at least to an extent. Yeah.
Because I can see your workspace, like how you really, and I want to believe that most of the work you actually do them from.
Yeah, but funny enough, I actually travel a lot, so I don't really stay at home like that. So I don't really stay at home like that. So I most of the times I travel. So I just leverage on the opportunity I have. I think for now, I'm just in the house for like a couple of weeks, then later I will actually travel. Yeah, so I just leverage on it.
But what's your main stack?
My main stack is JavaScript and PHP.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my stack is backend and DevOps. Sorry, wow. The area I focus on, to be precise, is DevOps. I was once a full stack developer. Then 2017, I decided to specialize in backend. So from backend, 2021, I started using DigitalOcean to deploy services. Then currently, I'm using AWS.
So how did you get to like your own? Is it transition now or your own entrance into tech?
So I did it before I got into school. Before
Before your undergraduate.
Yeah, before my undergraduate actually. Before my undergrad. Wow. So I was doing it. I was lucky enough to have actually started. So when I got into school, I didn't even want to do computer science. So I did electrical electronics. Then I I was actually working with a company then, my uncle's company. Then I did more of like an accounting company. So I built their first website ever. Then from there, I started working with a company called Decagon. I consider him to be my mentor, even on the basis, even despite on the basis that we started at the same time. So so I was with Decagon for a while before I then joined the company. I joined another company, a government organization. Then from a government organization, I was given a contract to work with another government organization before I joined the bill payments company. Then from the bill payment company, I decided to join a consulting company. Then from a consulting company, I started my own startup.
Oh,
Then,
you're already on your own startup.
yeah, so from my own startup, I then moved into more of so currently I'm helping startups grow to an extent. So I work with companies in the US, the UK, and also in Nigeria here. Kind of.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah. So
That's massive.
yeah, it's honestly, I won't lie to you, it was just a privilege for me because I was more of like the introverted individual. Right now, Sam, I'm more outspoken because right now I don't even care about anything.
Yeah. Nobody wants to. No, it will be very difficult to say that you are an introverted person. Like
Exactly.
if someone has not known you before.
Yes, exactly. So I was kind of very lucky to be in that space. Maybe it's because of the fact that I was so free to relate with people to an extent. But if you put me in my own space, I will not even do anything in the midst of individuals. But I was kind of, let me just say, I'm more of like an ambivert, like the mix of both. So it's just of recently I decided to be outspoken on most of the things I do, and I don't really care. Did you get? So I'm just in a mode where I feel like it's time for me to actually create that legacy that I've been keeping for a long time. Like I can't just put my 14 years of experience to waste just like that. Yeah, so it's just for me to share this experience and help just assist people, guide them on how they can be able to leverage. So with this opportunity, I've even trained like up to 200 people, kind of, for free, and not collected a dime before. So is it something I should actually be keeping within myself? No, it's not. It's not. So I need to let people know that that's what I do, and I've gotten most of them jobs. Yeah.
On the group, why do you look as if you are committing so much effort, putting too much like very good effort and time and every energy to help people, even though there's nothing like attached to it, like even like what you're doing currently now, granting an opportunity to do something and all of that.
So the truth is, I've gone through a lot of trying to help about the set of individuals I've been training, right? Was another way of indirectly giving back to the society because of the fact that I learned this stuff too, and I also wanted to help people. I just wanted to indirectly empower people. But right now, I told myself that there's a material and resource everywhere. There's no need for me to put myself in a position of wanting to say, "Oh yeah, come, let me start teaching you." There are a lot of resources. There's ALX. There are a lot of bootcamps that you can actually jump into to get things done in. So right now, I decided to shift that energy into making people see this as not just a job, but a career. Do you get where I'm coming from? And that is why I decided. And another thing triggered me too. I was removed from a group. And after being removed from that group, about 7 people reached out to me for assistance in one way or the other, like especially on the basis of their career. They didn't have a job, this one and that one. And after I had that conversation with them, I said, no, I have to create this group. And that was how the birth of the group came into play. So I know I'm not really doing as much as I expect. Like sometimes it's dormant and all those stuff, and I try to like just put something out there. But at the same time, so I just feel like it's just another way to give back. And most of them, I share my stories via my YouTube, like things I've actually experienced, things I've actually talked about are just on the basis of my experience. And there are a lot of things, even as much as finances, even as much as, because these days tech guys actually see this whole tech space as just getting a job rather than looking at it from a career perspective. You get. I'm going to say a lot of things in the future that will shake a lot of people, and they, in a way, they might not believe what I'm saying, but in the long run, they'll begin to understand where I'm coming from. Do you get? So, yeah, so I'm just doing it gradually. I don't want it to end up being at a certain case where I'm just saying too much. I'm just putting, when you are trying to eat a meat that is actually undone. Exactly, something like that. So I just want to break it down in simple steps. And I believe most of the things I'm saying are kind of relatable to an extent. So let's just be managing it to that extent till when the real deal comes out. So I think for now, I think it's just me trying to just help people as my own way of giving back. I've been through a lot of pain. You get a lot of pain. I've done about 7 businesses and failed out of it. Right.
Like initial
yes.
Not so long.
This is my shop, yes. So
Wow.
entering 30 at the moment, like this is my shop. I've really done a lot of business and I've failed out of it. So this happens on the basis of the mistakes that tech bros actually make. That I believe that is important that people begin to actually make other people stand on their toes. You get? They have to be on their toes. And before you can do that, you have to understand logic, you have to be accountable, and at the same time, you have to be responsible. So let's not deviate from the entire thing we're talking about. So,
okay, so
yeah.
I want to share like my CV with you now, and then But that particular this thing link, I've not been able to find it
Okay.
because I've needed the internet. So I'll still find it after the call.
Okay,
But let
no
me do,
problem.
I'll send the CV now on WhatsApp now
Okay, yeah.
to you. Just I restructure my CV to just be a one-page CV now.
Yeah.
So that, because since I don't really have up to 5 years or 3 years experience,
Okay.
let me not be putting unnecessary.
Okay.
You know, so I've removed a lot of things and then I've made it to be very light, just a one-page CV. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. Now.
Yes, I'm checking now.
Okay.
Okay, this is not a bad one. But at the same time too, I will still need you to put a description under your name, which is
Okay.
yeah, which will just require you to like innocent. Then beneath it, you should put backend engineer.
Okay. When I was looking at this thing, I was saying, if someone look at the CV immediately, you will not be able to tell a particular stack.
Exactly, you won't be able to tell the particular
yeah.
stack actually. So I think apart from that,
Like beneath the name, I should just put.
oh, you finished from Decagon?
Oh, okay. You don't think I got? Yes,
Yes,
I did.
one of my
did.
mentees has actually gone there.
Okay. Like recently
So,
or
so
currently?
yeah, recently he even got a job out of it. He was learning Node.js there with them. Sorry, Python actually. He got a job there.
And
So what was the problem?
because
actually? Yeah.
recently, like they have not really been offering because of the lack of the jobs in Nigeria. But even though there are still few jobs there, but they felt they were not getting out of people.
You mean in Java?
No, for Python.
For Python? Oh, okay.
Maybe it might be of this. Maybe it might be for Python. Maybe it might be a score that was before we came. Because for my own particular stack, Python was not offered.
Oh, okay. So what happened after the bootcamp? What happened? Is it that you are not given a job
finished,
or something?
You said come again, please.
I said, was it that you were actually you didn't go through their internship?
I went through the internship. In fact, it was during the internship we built the particular project I was telling you about. It was during the internship that we built the project.
So they were because I believe their responsibility is to to an extent they promise you a link to get a job or something.
It's exactly. Exactly. And you know the challenge right now is that the company has so many people that they are promised the same thing, and then Nigerian tech, it's not like they have the jobs that they are going to give. They are going to stay work with other people and to get the job. So it's not always that they have a job in their hand, and they have a lot of people that they are giving the job. So even up to now, we are still working. It's still like a partnership stuff. We work from my own end. I'm also pushing. They're also pushing. If they have opportunity, there are a couple of my colleagues that they have been able to give internship, and then the internship can then
they now extended their
end up.
That was what happened to
That
was what happened to my mentee actually. So he moved. He decided to move. The company is a Lagos company, so he decided to move to Delta State since it was a remote job. So it didn't require him to actually be active. Yeah. So he finished. Was it not 2 years ago or so? Yeah.
Okay. That's it. That was what I say that for people that have finished all those, when you got Python, I know that it's all those early people because it's called before or so. They stopped offering Python because they're having many people that they couldn't place because all the Python jobs were in Europe, in America, and none of that. So they say, okay, let us stop. So they are currently offering Node.js, Java, and then C#.
Okay. Did they see collect the loans?
Sure, that is a business that so they see it's still like a loan something, but they make it not so flexible so that you can assess it and then pay it over as well.
Okay, it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. So let's go back to the CV stuff. So I think it needs to be kind of quite visible that you are a backend engineer on the CV. Like trust me, the CV kind of it looks good. At least showing the respective activities you've done so far, it looks good. Work tracker, the code, the fashion app. So I think you need to make it visible. That's the only thing I got to notice from here. So another thing would be, let's look at another area. I don't know, we've been here for kind of quite a while now. So let's see if we can be able to speed up this stuff as quick as possible. So let's look at the point of how you are actually applying. You say you're applying on Indeed and LinkedIn. Those are the two places. You're using Easy Replies, Abi?
Yes, I am.
And there was a time I did easy replies and I was sending 100 every day. I was sending 100 every day. It was crazy. So and
Are you getting feedback?
I was only getting feedback like I only got feedback like maybe 3 or 4 times. Sorry.
Okay, for progression or is it for?
Sorry.
Like you progress, like you progress in the stage, like you are.
I only progressed to the stage twice. So here another way. Here's another way. Another way. How am I putting my English? Sorry but you understand where I'm coming from.
I understand.
Exactly. So you can do it this way. Why not speak directly with HRs? Build relationships with HRs in organizations on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Do you get?
Okay.
Speak with HRs that are actually on LinkedIn. And don't do it in a way that you're actually desperate for them to get you a job. Do it at a certain period where you can be able to converse with at what they are doing and what they are talking about. Like for example, let's say you search for HRs on LinkedIn. You look at this profile. You see all the things that they've posted. You tell them, you can just comment on a couple of them. Hey, I love what you talked about. I really want to build a connection with you. Can we connect? That's it. It's a strategic process. It's not on the basis of the fact that you just want to say, hey, I don't have a job. Please, can you link me up with a job? It's a turn off entirely.
Exactly.
So do it at a certain point where you can be able to say, connect and say, hey, I would like to connect. I'm a software engineer. I noticed you're actually into HR stuff. I love your posts and all the stuff. I feel it will give me the need to actually improve myself on how I can be able to apply for jobs. Please see the need to actually connect, and they connect with you. Now, when they connect with you, trust me, most of them might not apply and might not answer you. Do you get? Most of them might not answer you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying most of them might not answer you, but it's just for you to be positive about. I understand the kind of pressure that might be going around you, maybe money pressure, family pressure, whatever the case may be. But you just have to figure out how to contain that. I think in one of these videos I'll actually talk about it, like how to actually manage pressure, especially when it comes to things that has to do with outside work and all those stuff like that. Because I've also been in such kind of position too. So you might have. So just try to see how you can be able to manage the pressure and build more relationships with people. Because these days we're in a very big recession, and this recession, many jobs will not open their mouth to say they have jobs to give to you. Although you will see 2,000, 5,000 job vacancies available to you, but you might not even get the opportunity to have access to at least, let me say, 20. Why? Because where they are actually getting jobs are via recommendations, or where they are giving people jobs are via recommendations. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So you have to. So it happens via recommendation, and not just from a point of the fact that you apply. You've been applying now. You didn't see any outcome from it. So you need to figure out how to build relationship. Building relationship in the sense that you don't have to be desperate, but you just need to build it on a steady level where you can converse and have, like, you can even figure out what they like. Like, this is more of like psychology, and I feel like this is what bootcamps have to be doing. If they are sure that they're not going to be giving you jobs, this is the level they are supposed to take their value proposition to. So an instance where you can be able to present yourself and also be confident that you can be able to get a job. Not on the idea of the fact that they just give you internship and the internship company drops you, and when they drop you finished, you will now be looking for a job, and you will still not be confident about the idea of the fact that you're going to get one. It's a bad reputation on their end. So imagine you get to a point in your life where you are not able to get a job. You now say, I beg, leave that bootcamp. Even they owe them money, say, I never ever answer them. Do you get where I'm coming from? So these are the things that you need to, and one of the ways you can be able to get these opportunities is by recommendations. Most of my jobs are via recommendations. Do you get? So it's just on a lucky base that someone, so in short, a company reaching out to you and seeing your portfolio. They see, imagine you being a BA, just imagine being in the picture of a HR, and almost 5,000 people are applying in a company, and you are reading their CV. Your head will burn out, and you have a lot of jobs you are doing. Even at the moment right now, my organization, I'm just trying to review just 11 people. Despite the fact that I'm still writing codes, and at the same time, I'm still managing a team and making sure that things has to actually be intact. So it's even stressing the hell out of me, despite the fact that, and I still have to create assessment tests for people who are front-end developers, who want to actually join the company as front-end developers. So imagine you have 200 people applying. I can't be looking at their CV all the time. But if I have in mind that, hey, there's this guy that reached out to me for front-end development, you feel our back-end developer, you'll be one of the first point of call. Now, an example, one of the guys I trained, we thank God because of the fact that we were able to get him a job. And it was on the basis of the fact that I related with one woman like that. She's the CEO of a company. And I related with her and we built a certain relationship. And most of the times I usually used to link her to developers. So she would tell me the stack and I would look for them. So luckily for me, the stack that I actually mentored the guy on is the stack that the woman was looking for. So they interviewed the guy, and after the interview, they gave him an assessment, and the rest was history. He got the job. So it will not happen via the guy. Trust me, if the guy is still applying, he won't get one even till date. He won't get one till date. So it happens via recommendations. You have to put yourself in a position where you have to learn how to build relationships with people, and put yourself on how you like. Trust me, introversy has nothing to do with in no way affects your social life. Whether they say introverts into I'm introverted as an excuse of not to relate to people, that's absolute bullshit. If not, hunger will catch you. The way hunger will manifest in your life, it will look as if you are not born for this life. That's the way hunger will knock the hell out of you. Yes, hunger will just be waiting for you like this. Just be waiting for you like this. So you have to put yourself in a position where you have to build relationship with people and let them have you in mind that, hey, before I recommend anybody, remember this guy.
I think that's what I'm doing right now with you. It's part of it, right?
You said what?
I think it's one of the things I'm doing with you right now.
Yeah, that's what you're doing with me at the moment, because if there's a Java person, I already know that there's a Fiverr. But funny enough, there are a lot of Java guys that have reached out to me before you.
Really? But it's still okay.
But it still doesn't matter, because what happens is, whenever these recommendations come, that I should recommend someone, I just look for the people that are actually within that line, and I say, hey, recommend these and I'll tell the company these are the people that I actually feel like you get. And most of the times I have to if you want me to even take it that far, I have to actually be sure and see what you are actually doing, so that I can ensure just by seeing it alone, I can even understand the magnitude, because I've actually been in that space before. You get. So that's just the point of where I'm coming from. So building relationships is another thing. And the opportunity to build those relationships should not necessarily just be online. You should actually go out and hunt for relationships. There are events you can be doing in PH. There are events. You can go to online event hubs, like Eventbrite, Eventbrite.
Like what said, exactly. This thing that they do.
Exactly. Wow. Go and find tech people you can relate with. Go and find business people that you can relate to. There's someone that is looking for an idea somewhere. I say, I think you can be able to do this stuff. And you can use the opportunity to recommend your front-end friend, and two of you just build the full stack together. So you will never get a job like the way you are doing if you have not even been able to get it as at this moment, the way you are getting it now. You have to figure out how to build relationships with people.
Okay.
You get. So that's just my thoughts. I wanted to ask another question. Do you have any plans of like switching language?
It's part of it, but I just feel it will not be wise to abandon Java right now and then go to another. I can learn, for instance, if it is maybe a front-end language like React now, at least React to become a full stack, it will be okay. Well, I just feel I still need to just find something to do with Java and at least have some experience with Java, even if I want to switch to another language.
Okay, so at the same time too, I think if you're going to be using Java, then learn a little bit of front-end development. And that front-end development will give you an opportunity to, like for example, if you're learning React.js, it can give you the opportunity to transition into a JavaScript backend language. Okay. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Exactly. So the truth about it is, before you can find a company doing Java, it must be a big corporation. Because that is the mindset that is actually instilled in most of these big corporations. If you're not using Java, you're not doing anything. Or if you're not using C#, you're not doing anything. So you have to actually start chasing big corporations. Do you get? Before you can put yourself on the point of wanting to get jobs. Although, yeah, I think InterSwitch, I think they use Java also, or C#. I don't know. They have this program that they usually used to do every year. One of my former co-founders is now into coding at the moment. You get, like, we started the business together, actually. We're three, kind of, before, yeah. So, right now, he's now coding at the moment. So, he actually did an InterSwitch program. I think they call it the internship or so. And from there, he was able to transition into working for InterSwitch as a front-end guy. So you can look for internships like that, and no longer internships that put you at the position where you have to go and learn all over again. But even if it's learning all over again, you have to do it with the intention of the fact that they have to guarantee that you are getting a job
after the internship.
After the internship. Not like the Decagon lines where it's just by luck. You get?
Yeah, and that is the reason why many of us went there, because the way they picture themselves on social media, and they will tell you all the sweet things that they have 100% placement and other stuff. So, but it's about you get there before you get to know the real stuff and everything that's happening there.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's still not. There's nothing to, because I know some people that were together there and then they have been coding for years, but the challenge is they haven't been able to get a job, so they feel Decagon will be a good platform to get the job. And then even after getting there, with their experience plus Decagon offer and everything, they are not still able to even break through. But at least,
and most of them will now begin to lose confidence.
Exactly. It's like right now that I'm just myself. If not, I can just imagine what other people are passing through. Like what, because some people have to quit their jobs and come and say, okay, this is a job anchor. It's tech. The money will come immediately, and then at the end of the day,
the problem is many people are not seeing tech as a career, but they are seeing it as just a job that they want to get.
I wanted to ask you. You know that you have mentioned it, like this is the third time or so that you have mentioned this now. So I wanted to ask, like, because it's, the career, maybe it's because you're already in the tech now and you're stable, the money is coming. That's why you're already seeing it as a career for you.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. You know the story that's going on about Hilda at the moment, right? I think she just clocked 100 hours a few hours ago.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think about her life at the moment? Let me ask you a question.
Her life has changed at the moment. Like she has like everything now has clicked for her.
Do you think it's Guinness World Record that is going to pay her for what she has done?
I even learned that there's no money that they pay. It's
Guinness
just
World
like
Record do not pay for this thing. Somebody created an organization and called it Guinness World Record. It has been existing for I think it's almost more than 50 years at the moment. And somebody said they want to be part of it and create an opportunity for themselves to how will I put it? They want to create an opportunity for themselves to break that record, right? And she did all she needed to have done, and she broke that record. Now, all I see about this, I understand where you're coming from the point where you see that I'm actually saying it from a stable state, right? I understand that part, and I respect the fact that you actually said it, because if I had not been in this same state, I wouldn't have. How would I put it now? I wouldn't have even realized what I'm talking about at the moment. Now, let me just go to the dictionary and just bring the differences of what I'm actually talking about. A career.
It's even a question I wanted to ask also as well. Like, what do you mean by the difference between a career? Even I know what you're like saying, it should be a step by step, build a block of this and then learn all the basics and try to be very, very good in everything before you start looking for just to find a way to just bumble yourself into getting a job.
So many problem when people jump into tech, they see it as a survival mechanism, which in as much as I don't see that as a problem, but it ends up being a problem later. So let's say, for example, I am getting I move from a junior developer, I become a senior developer, from a senior developer, I become a team lead, from a team lead, I become an engineering lead, from engineering lead, I become an engineering manager, from a manager, I become maybe head of engineering managers to head of engineering, then maybe CTO, C-level position and all those, or VP of engineering, whatever the case may be. Many of us are actually not looking at it from that route. Many of us are actually looking at it from the basis of the fact that it's just to get this job in particular, this next job after my internship, and I start earning 6 figures. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I'm getting you.
So there are career ladders to achieving the peak of your career. There are career ladders to achieving the peak of your career, but many of the people who are joining tech today are not seeing it that way. They just want to put themselves in the position of wanting to just enjoy the moment, learn what they want to learn. They want to be confident about what they are learning and just get the job and prove to everybody that they have money, and they just get the job. And it's the same problem that many of these international people, like for example, me, that I'm in Nigeria now, right? I'm getting a job abroad in the US. They're paying me, let's assume they're paying me $4,000, right? If assuming I leave that job, for example, What do you think would be my next line of action?
Okay, to get a high pay,
Okay, let's say
better
let's
pay
say
one.
I am like a software engineer. Let me just say I just tell myself software engineer working from Nigeria here with another international company that give me a full-time job or a contract role. If I want to apply for another job, what do you think the next job should be like?
And that may be with the option of even relocating, or it has to be double the pay or something.
So here's one of the mistakes many people make. People don't know the policies that actually go on in those organizations and the limits that they can go when it comes to the aspect of working with those organizations, especially if you're actually from another country. Do you know that there are some organizations that put you at a position that you cannot grow past that certain level when you work with them? The only way you can grow past that certain level is only if you have moved to their country, you stayed for some numbers of years before you can start having the opportunity to be in that position. Do you get where I'm coming from? So imagine someone like me, I'm doing software engineer. Maybe something happens, I move to another job, I'll still be a software engineer. I move to another job. For the next 7 years, I'll actually be a software engineer. Do you get? Is it not better for me to actually create an opportunity for myself where within the same 7 years, I'm able to get to at least some certain peak of my career, and I'm known for those respective activity that will make the world attracted to me because of the fact that I'm actually at the peak of my career? Which one makes more sense?
Sure. Yeah, the one you just said, that makes more sense.
Exactly, compared to, because I'll give you a very good example. There's somebody I know, if like he's not really a friend, it's someone that I look up to. You get? It's called Prosper Otemoiwa. He's a programmer actually. So he started this stuff a while ago. I even started before himself. You get? And he had been able to put his work out there to an extent. He put his work out there to the extent that he started creating packages for companies. He started creating packages for developers to be using. When he got like to almost 100,000 stars, right? They started calling this guy for events. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. So there are strategies to this thing, and many people, this thing is more than just saying you want to get a job and you want to be paid 6 figures. It's good you actually understand the idea of transition and how far you can actually go, and the limitations that will actually limit you from getting your first job, then transitioning into some certain level of, like for example, if I'm in Nigeria now and I leave this job, if I leave where I'm working right now, right, it's either I'm paid 2x of what I'm being paid currently, or I'm given another position alongside 2x of a higher position alongside 2x of what I'm gaining at the moment. Do you get where I'm coming from? So we don't look at the height of what we can actually achieve. So this whole tech stuff is a progression, actually. It's a very huge progression. So it's not based on this. So what I would actually advise you to do is look at how far you want to. You can't tell me that you want to be coding for the next 20 years.
No.
Coding actually has a very, very short life. And you can't say you want to, within that 20 years, you want to use 10 years and become just a label software engineer. You want to attach a lot of things to yourself that will give you that credibility and that this thing on your name.
You're very correct.
Exactly. So that's just my thought at the moment. So many people don't see it as a career, they just see it as just a job. And if you see it as a career, you have the thought of wanting to build relationship. Like the way your parents will just reach out to their colleague and say, my son needs a job, or in case you have a job for him. You begin to act like the way your parents acted. Why? Because you are indirectly trying to build relationship with people for the sake of the fact that you just want to put your mind in the head of people. Sorry, you want to put yourself in the head of people. So that when it's time for people to recommend you, you'll be one of the few people that they will actually want to recommend. Do you get where I'm coming from? So don't underestimate anything that Decagon has done. They've done their best in the society of liberating people from one stage to another. They've done their best. Do you get? It has happened that we are in a recession period, and these things would actually cut short. Employment will cut short. And they wouldn't even want, because of the fact that companies want to cut their costs, right? They do not want to just hire anyhow kind of person. They want to hire somebody that is capable, and that is why they will prefer somebody recommending and say, I know this guy, pick this guy. Why? Because they want to save their costs. Just imagine they just pick anybody they want to pick. They've lost. The company has lost a lot of money. Do you know that hiring alone is a cost? Bringing the person into the company is also a cost. So they just want to kill all those serene. They want to kill all those nonsense. They don't want it to happen. So they want to look for someone that they can handpick and bring into the organization. and maybe do a couple of tests and see, oh, can it do this? Can it fit? The only thing they will not be looking at, they'll just be giving you tests to see if you can be a cultural fit in the organization. So you need to figure out how to build relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I hope you don't mind. What's your name? Is this your nickname or your real name?
No, it's my real name. Schneider Komlafe is my real name.
Okay, Schneider. Okay. Okay. Look like a Oyibo name.
Wow. Hey, Abby. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope I will save your number. I hope you don't mind saving mine as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't mind actually.
From time to time, I will try to share with you my progress and then maybe,
Please do. I really appreciate you sharing me your progress so far. Then also, please, I also want to. Would you mind me sharing this our conversation to a couple of people who are having the same issue like you?
It's fine. It's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much. And yeah, sure. We'll keep in touch definitely. Please don't forget.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You have a pleasant night rest.
And you too. Yeah, take care. Sure.
Yeah.